Hi. In today's video I want to talk about something pretty serious, which is a lot of anecdotal evidence that I'm getting that intercultural or interracial, cross-cultural, foreigner Chinese relationships are actually under a lot of pressure, are under a lot of strain, and some of the reasons why that might be. So I'm going to look at some particular examples, but first off, without naming names, kind of like, I guess, gathering different anecdotes together and sort of creating a character and then doing that a couple of times. So if anyone's interested, I doubt anybody is, but because there's a lot of different ideas about the Omicron, and I'm not going to say too much, but yeah, I've made a video about that. You can check it out. You can see my opinion of what I think Omicron is. But got my 4th test today, and it was kind of cool actually, because I got to visit my wife's primary school, and that was kind of special. I can't imagine any situation where I could have visited her school except for this happening or me getting a job there. So so that was pretty cool. That was nice. That was really nice. But anyway, look, let's talk about this in a real way. Let's get real. So I was going for a walk today, and I saw these new park benches that are made of stone, literally one every 100 meters, and I thought, that's really cool. And I just thought, wouldn't it be nice to sit there with my wife, or sit there next to my wife? And then I started to think about her, and I started to think about some of my friends, and then I got a couple of messages, and it just like hit me like a ton of bricks, that this whole education reform has been putting a lot of pressure on relationships. Not mine specifically. I'll end the suspense. My relationship is pretty good. Like, I don't think that my relationship has been impacted by the education reforms directly, but I want to look at a couple of instances where relationships have been impacted. So let's look at one guy. Let's call him Peter. Now, Peter worked for a training center as a manager, perhaps, or as a senior teacher. Peter was making good money, and a beautiful girl, he liked her, she liked him, mutual attraction, perhaps one of his students, perhaps he met her at a coffee shop, whatever. Now, when they got together, he was making 32, 33, 34,000, maybe 35,000 renminbi a month, and she saw that this guy was a nice guy, she was attracted to him, he was making good money, the family approved, they got together. Now let's wind the clock forward, and let's kind of assume that they haven't generated a lot of savings. They were maybe living the life, they were just starting to get a bit of money together to possibly buy a house or possibly open a business or do something like that. And the education reforms came along. He's now working at an international school. He's getting maybe half what he was getting before. She's dissatisfied. He's dissatisfied. And it's causing them to fight and to bicker about money. There's the old expression, and it is true. Poverty walks in the door, love flies out the window. And I look back on my life and I realize that a lot of the relationships that I had didn't last because I just didn't have a strong enough financial position, in a sense, or not in a sense. I didn't have a strong enough financial position to inspire confidence in girls to think, I want to take this guy to the next level. He's a nice guy, whatever, but I just didn't have that financial security that would inspire a woman to think, well, I'm going for it, Probably maturity as well, but we won't get into that. I'm pretty mature now. So that's that guy. That's that kind of guy. Now let's look at another kind of guy, which is the school entrepreneur. So this is a guy who opened his own training center, was making big money, like 50, 60, 70,000 in the bank, month after month after month after month. COVID came, education reforms came, the center's gone, the money's gone. What kind of business can that guy do now? Can he have a coffee shop? Can he have a pizza shop? He is most likely, a guy like that is most likely working at a kindergarten. He might be making 20,000 or 25,000 a month, but it's not 60, it's not 70. And maybe they're fighting about that, because they were looking down the road, they were seeing all of this stuff, and now it's just, the future has become very much that's going to happen. Whereas before they might have imagined all kinds of different possibilities. So, those are two examples. And of course, then you've also got unemployment, and you've got relationships. You might have a guy who was working at a training center, might have been working at a Wall Street English school. He was just a regular teacher. He had a girlfriend, and he doesn't have a job now. So what's he doing? Is she supporting him? Is he looking for a job? That relationship has a time limit. It doesn't matter what country you're in. When a man is unemployed, his attractiveness, his ability to keep the confidence of a woman goes down. Unless he's got money. If he's got money, that's a different story. But if he doesn't have money, there is a time limit on that relationship. So yeah, and that's another fact. That's something that's also been happening. There's guys that have simply lost their jobs, and they're looking for new jobs, and that's their situation. So yeah, it is real. And if you've got an anecdote about this, or you've experienced this yourself, it says, look, this is not about me. It's about us. It's about the community. And that's how I feel too. Like when I first told my friends that I wanted to be an English teacher, they were just like, cool. People just assume that you want a girlfriend from another country, or you are a loser or something like that. But when you come into China, or you come into Korea, and you meet all these different people, it's like a whole community, and so many different people I've lost track of, and if my channel can be a place where people get together and people share information, and we are like a kind of a community, that would just be wow. That would be a wonderful thing. So that's what I want to do. Like, I'm not that. If you don't believe I'm narcissistic, then why don't I have any videos of myself playing guitar? Because I just don't believe anyone would want to watch that, So I publish my music, but I'm not going to expect anyone to ever watch me play guitar. So what I'm saying is, it's not about me. It's about having a group of us and having a good conversation with each other and sharing what's happening. So if you know somebody that's going through relationship difficulties, and we don't want any names shared or whatever, but yeah, share it. And look, I want to end on a high note. I want to end this on a positive note. I believe that there will be some modification to the education reforms, because the anecdotal evidence is that students haven't done well on their last set of exams. So that could really make it more likely that there will be a modification, or there will be some change to the laws. Yeah, so I'm pretty hopeful. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And look, if anyone's watching this with their partner, I just want to say, like, if you've got a guy, if you've got a husband or a boyfriend that traveled all the way to China to get a job, that is a hardworking person. You know, like I'll cop the I'll cop the loser. I'll carry the loser crucifix, but I know that's not true because if I wasn't working in Australia, I was usually trying to find a job. You know, I wasn't hiding from a job. I wasn't unable to get a job. And to me, the only loser is a person who needs a job and doesn't want to get one. And they're capable of doing something, but they just don't want to do it. And they need to do it. That to me is a loser. Anyone who goes all the way to another country to work, that is a good person. That person is not lazy. And if that's who you're going out with or who you're married to, stick with him, stick with her. You know, there are relationships like that as well, where a Chinese guy marries a female English teacher, and you know, if you're watching, stick with her, stick with him. They are going to be, in the long term, they're going to be successful. So yeah, just cherish each other. So yeah, hope everybody's well, and bye for now.